Hey, this is Neil and Andrew do a review.
That's right. Today we are talking about Justice League War, starring the voices of Jason O'Mara, Alan Tudyk, and Michelle Monaghan.
Yeah, so Justice League War, that's good, right?
Eh, kind of, I guess. It's really difficult to explain how I feel about this movie, to be perfectly
Oh, come on,
honest.
you gotta explain. This is a review.
Okay, well, just a little bit of setup. Justice League War is the one of the most recent DC animated universe direct-to-video movies, along with stuff like the Dark Knight Returns animated movie and several other ones. This one is based off of the first arc of the New 52 Justice League comic that
Oh, so that's the problem right there. I mean, you just say 52 and based off of, and I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
I hate to be that guy, but yeah, a lot of the problems with this movie have to do with how the New 52 writes these characters and these stories, and unfortunately, a lot of those bad tendencies creeped into this movie.
It's like they'll do better on 53, right?
Hopefully, like whatever the like, I mean, even though the New 52 has kind of just been like a wash for DC, I kind of think like in the future these could get better, but just as they are now, they really got off on the wrong foot to me and a lot of the
Yeah, I
general
mean, what's
public.
the idea about just making Starfire an emotionless, sex crazed woman? I mean, it's just like I know it's cliche for her to be pining after uh, like
Robin, yeah.
Dick Grayson.
Yeah.
I know about that whole. They didn't want that whole thing. It's like I love you, Dick. It's like call me Richard.
Well,
Jeez.
but yeah, getting back to this movie. I guess we should talk about what little plot there is, and I guess I'll go into detail about why I have such mixed feelings about this movie.
Let me guess. Let me guess. Alien invasion.
Of course, how does any superhero team get together these days? Is the Avengers, the Justice League, through multiple alien invasions? But like, there's a little bit more to it. Like in this version of the Justice League alien invasion storyline, there's these mysterious boxes appearing in cities like Gotham and Metropolis, and Batman and Superman and all these other. Okay, it's Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Shazam, Cyborg, and The Flash. They're all dealing with these mysterious boxes that have been appearing throughout the city. Nobody knows what they are, and superheroes in this continuity have only existed for about 5 years, so there's still a lot of distrust in the public about whether these are good guys or they want to help people.
Okay, all right. It's at least it's not that cliche. It's like what? Aliens invaded? Give me the Justice League.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so the movie proper starts up with Green Lantern and Batman both in Gotham City because Green Lantern covers the entire universe. So, and one of these boxes appears in Gotham City. They find out just after a lot of bickering and a lot of just wasting time with those characters, just bickering with each other, that these boxes are like were brought to Earth by Darkseid and the planet Apocalypse, and they are planning this big, huge alien invasion. Of course, this leads to people like Superman getting involved, Wonder Woman, who's on a diplomatic mission to the United States when this is all going on, the Flash, who is a scientist and who's been studying these boxes, and the creation of Cyborg, who you may remember from the Teen Titans series. Here he's been promoted to like a full-time Justice League member. He has his origin story in this movie where basically he's a star athlete and his father's a scientist who's been studying these dark side boxes. Basically, during a lab visit, the boxes activate and go all crazy, and Cyborg Victor Stone gets caught up in the mix and mixes with Darkseid's apocalypse technology to become Cyborg.
Okay, so I don't know. It sounds like they just crowed Cyborg in.
Yeah, I mean, Cyborg is not terrible in this movie. Cyborg's biggest problem in this movie is that he's just kind of boring. Like, he starts out as just an athlete, and there's just not really a whole lot to it. And he has this disagreement with his dad because his dad's a big scientist. He feels like athletics are useless because science is going to make humans more capable through technology rather
Well,
than physical
you
strength.
gotta admit, if you were like a science nerd and your son turns out to be a doc, you would be kind of like, oh god.
Well, I just think it's funny just because I've never seen. You know how in stories it's always like the jock dad who is disappointed in the scientist's son.
But now the roles are reversed.
I've never seen it where like a scientist dad is like, "Psst, nobody needs athletics. Fuck athletics. It's all about science, baby."
Yeah, science, bitch.
Exactly. That's just. It's just kind of weird seeing this dynamic about like this scientist dad who's disappointed in his athletic son. It's just bizarre. It's like Bizarro World.
But I don't know. Well, actually, it just makes sense. I mean, the son, if you're like, if you had a jock, you were a science kid, and you had a jock dad, and you, I mean, the thing is, like, you're hoping like your kid will grow up to be just like you, but instead they don't end up like take for instance, my dad is a professor in chemistry.
Okay.
Now me, haven't done shit in chemistry. Basically, I'm just a geek that just wants to sit around, play video games, and watch TV.
Well, I don't know. I mean, your dad's been nice from what I've met of him, but like the difference is like Cyborg's dad is just such a prick. He's such an unrealistic prick in this movie. Like he is so mean to his son, and it's just like this is almost comical. Like just how far he's going.
Yeah,
to
it's
be
like,
with his
yeah,
son.
I defeated the aliens. Do you love me now, Dad?
It's kind of like that. Like there's a scene where like Cyborg is like he's a quarterback for his high school football team, and
Yeah, I won the Heisman, Dad. Can't you at least just be proud of me? Shut up, you stupid jock.
You joke about that, but that's really how it plays out in the movie. Like, I won the state championship, Dad. Fuck athletics. It's all about science. But
I should have used a condom.
Okay. Okay. Going back to some of the other characters. Okay. So Cyborg. Sorry, one last thing to bring up about Cyborg. I say he's boring, and a lot of that might have to do with his voice acting. His voice actor is just kind of boring in this, and I don't mean to keep drawing comparisons to the Teen Titans counterpart, but Kerry Payton, who voices the Cyborg in the Teen Titans show, is such a better voice actor than the guy who does it here.
Yeah, why couldn't they give him the job?
I mean, you might as well ask why didn't they get Kevin Conroy or George Newbern to play Batman and Superman, respectively.
Fair enough.
Speaking of Batman, a lot of these characters are really poorly characterized, and you know, Batman and the Flash are like the only ones that don't get screwed over. Batman, it's kind of hard to screw up Batman at this point.
Yeah, you know why? Because he's the goddamn Batman.
That's right. Well, there's just been so many great interpretations of Batman over the years, like in animated, live action, and the video games. It's kind of hard to screw up Batman at this point.
As a matter of fact, they even have a prequel show on that is on now that has Batman.
It's Gotham.
Well,
Baby. Well, it's like Batman Babies, like it's called.
Pretty
Batman.
much.
But and the Flash acts like the Flash. He's like he's kind of a nerd. He's a scientist, but he always wants to help out. And he's like kind of a jokester. So that part works out.
Yeah, because they never brought out the part about Flash being a scientist. Well, kind of, but they never got Flash doing science in like the animated Justice League show.
I mean, they did briefly, but not very much. Unfortunately, all the other characters are really badly characterized. Green Lantern and Superman are by far the worst examples of this. Green Lantern is a douche in this movie. He is the biggest tool in the world in this movie. Basically, imagine Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
You know how much game Iron Man talks, but he backs it up because he's just awesome.
Yeah, and he can pull shit out even with all the alcoholism.
Imagine that, but every time you talk yourself up, you got your ass kicked, dude. It's like Green Lantern, this whole movie is like, oh, Darkseid aliens, I got this. I can one-shot these guys. Gets his ass kicked, dude.
Okay, so Green Lantern, who's basically a member of an organization whose job is to police the entire galaxy, yay, the entire universe,
Yes.
who probably battles aliens 24/7 got his ass kicked by a bunch of aliens.
Yeah,
I think at that point, all the Guardians and all would be like, all right, I'm sorry. I guess I know the ring chose you, but we think you made a poor decision. Like, give it up. Come on,
really,
turn it over.
really, it just cements how much I dislike Hal Jordan. Like, I think I have not liked Hal Jordan in any version of any of the characters, in any version I've seen him in. Like, the comics, he's boring. In the Green Lantern movie, he's a douche. In this movie, he's a douche. Like,
So
I have not seen
ugh.
the Green Lantern animated series that was on recently but got canceled. So maybe he's okay in that one, but most of the time, Hal Jordan sucks.
Yeah,
Like,
why can't they just get the black, cool,
Yeah.
Black Lantern? They had,
John Stewart is such a better Green Lantern character than Hal Jordan. Like,
yeah, John Stewart is a certified pimp.
he is a
He can
badass.
backhand you with that green ring hand.
He is a badass in Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. And in the comics, he has some really cool storylines. Guy Gardner is funny. Kyle Rayner has a lot of interesting constructs because he's an artist. What the hell does Hal Jordan have? Nothing.
I'm a pilot.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
so
pretty much it.
Green Lantern sucks in this movie. Wonder Woman is kind of bizarre. She's okay.
Yeah, tell them about the whole ice cream scene.
Well, there's this scene where like she's on a diplomatic she's on a diplomatic trip to the United States to establish relations between Themyscira and the U.S. And a lot of people don't really like her just because they think she dresses provocatively and they don't trust superheroes.
I mean, come on. They redesigned her costume to try to be less provocatively. I mean, she has sleeves.
Well, but
What more do you need?
so there's a scene where she goes into the park and she talks to this girl who is eating ice cream and just like, hey, I think you're cool, Wonder Woman. I'm nice to meet you, little girl. What's that you're having? Oh, it's ice cream. And Wonder Woman tries ice cream and I don't know. I mean, and she goes to the ice cream vendor and it's like, bring me your greatest ice cream you can. And I mean, it's a good idea for a scene, I think, just because it humanizes Wonder Woman. The problem with that scene and Wonder Woman in this whole movie is that she is Starfire. Starfire.
Not the slutty Starfire from the New 52s. We're talking Starfire from Teen Titans.
Yeah,
or the previous DC.
The Teen Titans cartoon, like, she is Starfire. Like, Starfire's character is like, she is the eternally naive alien girl who, is a superhero and like kicks ass, but she is like one of those always one step behind as far as Earth culture goes.
Yeah, and by the way, I want to make a quick note. I don't want to be slut shaming here. I'm just saying that if you're going to make Starfire a slut, let her have a personality.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
A lot of people don't have their personality in New 52, but yeah, Wonder Woman is okay in this movie. It's just the fact.
Maybe I shouldn't say slut. I should say sexually liberated.
Okay.
Yeah, we cool, ladies. We cool.
Yeah, we're cool, ladies. Wonder Woman is okay, but she is not playing Wonder Woman. She is a completely different character than what Wonder Woman is supposed to be. Shazam is meh. I mean, Shazam himself is fine, even though they kind of write him to be like I know he's a teenager, really, but they kind of make Shazam a little too dumb sometimes in this movie, even though he is a good fighter and he's not a bad character.
Yeah, more like Shazam Dynamite.
Yeah, there's a couple of things where like, hey, Darkseid or whatever your World of Warcraft name is. It's like, this is kind of dumb, but he's okay. The problem with Shazam is Billy Batson. Billy Batson is in this movie is kind of like one of those whatever teenagers. And it's like, that's not who Billy Batson is at all. It's like you're just trying to make him more edgy for today's audiences without really understanding what the character Billy Batson is.
I think they were trying to appeal to the what if generation.
That's totally what they were doing. It just doesn't really work.
Yeah, it's like Wonder Woman comes up and is like, "Hey, Billy, we want us to go help fight us?
Shut up! You're not my mom.
It's like, hey, don't you talk to Wonder Woman like that.
You're not my dad.
Listen here, I have heat vision, and I can
fuck you up if I want.
I can give you a libido just by looking at you.
Exactly. And then the worst offender of all is Superman.
Not because, he threatened the libido. That's not part of the film, in
He
case you didn't know.
This is not Superman. This is a high school jock pretending to be Superman in this movie. There is no sense of comfort or humility.
More like Super Deuce. It's
Yes.
like, hey, I'm Superman.
Yeah,
Don't you fuck off.
there's no sense of humility or
There's a cigarette and booze in the broads.
there's no sense of humility or kind nature to Superman in this movie. He just comes on the scene, is like, hey, I have a bunch of powers, fuck you, Batman, I don't need you, and then turns out he does because
It's like, more like hipster Superman. It's like, hey, Batman, do you even fly? I can kind of fly. Oh, you can kind of fly? Oh, that's so stupid.
The last thing about the characters I'll bring up is just that the whole Wonder Woman Superman relationship is just dumb. It has never worked in the comics to me. It's like watching the high school quarterback go out with the cheerleader. Is that like that level of interest thing? It just does not work. I don't get why fans like it or want it. I don't get you people.
I don't know. I mean, it's because they both have dark hair, and I don't know. I hate the whole argument. Is like, well, it's like only one woman could take in that super sperm. Like, you're disgusting.
Well, the whole thing about this, the movie kind of rationalizes it where like Wonder Woman has never met another superhuman like Superman, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense because the Flash has superpowers, so does Green Lantern, so does Shazam.
Yeah,
so
but
does
she couldn't hook up
Cyborg.
with Shazam because that would be statutory.
I hadn't thought about it, but okay, well, good point. Superman, I guess, has more justification for being attracted to Wonder Woman because he's never met like a superpowered female, but again, no humility. It just doesn't make it interesting.
The whole thing is like, I don't know. I'm gonna pro Wonder Woman and Batman, but the truth of the matter is, why does Wonder Woman need a boyfriend? I mean, she's a
She doesn't.
strong, independent female. I mean, she doesn't need to be coupled up with a guy. I mean, she is her own woman. I mean, give her a little romance. I mean, when it has like,
Well, Steve Burton exists, but he's not really like a major Wonder Woman player or anything like that.
yeah, that's true. But I'm just saying, if you are gonna have a relation, gonna partner up someone with Wonder Woman, it's gotta be Batman.
Like the Justice League animated series.
Yeah.
It makes it seem like I hate this movie. I don't. The best thing about this movie is the fight scenes. Is like this movie has basically no plot. I mean, all that.
So it's basically a Michael Bay film.
Is like the Michael Bay equivalent of a DC animated movie universe. And
Oh, the horror.
well, the thing is, the actual alien plot is just very generic. Like we've seen this alien invasion superhero storyline done numerous
I
times.
mean, they've done it in like the first episode of the Justice League animated series. They've
Yes.
done it in like Brave Frontier or
Yeah,
New Frontier.
New Frontier. They did it in the Avengers.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Marvel did it. I mean,
The difference between all those is like all three of those.
and they're probably going to do it again with introducing the Thanos or the Skrulls.
The big difference though is like all those alien invasion stories had really good character interactions where you understood how the characters work together as a team, how they come together as a team, and how they operate individually. This movie just does not have that. Like the character problems I've highlighted are just really highlighted in the dialogue where like nobody really has any real chemistry with each other about how they work as a team or how they fight as a team. Like the big strategy they involve in the end is punching Darkseid a lot until he dies. There's not really any clever moments or camaraderie between the team because the whole movie is just about punching aliens in the face for 60 minutes.
Yeah, so if you're someone who's just into that, I guess this is an animated movie for you. But
Like-
you
like
pretty
I-
much get that from any other superhero thing.
Like I said, I do not hate this, even though I've been complaining about a lot of things in this movie, and there are a lot of really bad things about this movie. Like besides the characters, there's some really bad dialogue at points, but I do not hate this movie. I think my biggest problem with this movie is just the fact that the story is just flat out not good, and the characters are really poorly characterized. And for a superhero team up movie, that's kind of a big deal that the story just really is not worth taking seriously in any regard, or that the characters are not worth taking seriously in any regard. The best thing about this movie is the fight scenes, because as much as I've been complaining about the plot and all this, there are some really damn good fight scenes in this movie.
But I don't know. So what about Darkseid? How is his character come off as the villain?
He's Darkseid. There's not really anything new or interesting to Darkseid. I think
So
I
just
think
same
I
old
think
Darkseid.
same old Darkseid. I think his voice is really miscast. Like a lot of the people in this movie were actually really miscast vocally. Like
I don't know. Did Darkseid sound like I will destroy you?
he's voiced by Stephen Bloom, who has done a lot of anime roles like Spike Spiegel from Cowboy Bebop, Amon from the first season of Legend of Korra.
Yeah, but he's good. I mean,
He's okay. He just doesn't really stand. It's not really one of Stephen Bloom's best performances.
oh,
Jason
poor
O'Mara,
Stephen Bloom.
Jason O'Mara
He
is
worked so hard.
Jason O'Mara is pretty good as Batman.
I love you, Stephen Bloom.
Yeah, we all love you, Stephen Bloom. Jason O'Mara is okay as Batman. I think he can get better in time, but this is kind of like a pretty decent first outing. Alan Tudyk is really miscast as Superman. Like, why would Alan Tudyk ever come across your radar for someone who could play Superman? Michelle Monaghan plays Wonder Woman. She is great in True Detective. She's been good in other movies. She's really badly miscast as Wonder Woman. I don't know if it's her just not getting the character or the director not directing her well, but something was really lost in translation with her character. Green Lantern, Green Lantern is really bad. He sounds as douchey as he acts. The other ones are just kind of like whatever. Like I said, Shazam. Sean Astin plays Shazam. He's okay. The guy who plays Cyborg, he's an actor from Criminal Minds, which I've never seen, but he just doesn't really bring anything to the role of Cyborg. I guess to sum this up, because we've been kind of going on longer than I thought we were going to be about this movie, but
Sorry.
no, that's cool. The one thing I will say about this movie is like I said, the fight scenes are great. The only problem is like that's all this movie has. There's nothing.
And then the ice cream thing, but I don't know. I just like the idea, like Wonder Woman getting really fat from discovering ice cream in the Outland is like, oh God, Diana, what in the name of Hera happened to you? It's like, ice cream.
That would be a funny way to do Wonder Woman's character, but like the truth is, there's just nothing interesting going on with this movie, character-wise, story-wise, or world-building-wise. And really, all that you have left at the end of the day is the fight scenes, which are great. So that's why I have such mixed feelings about this movie, because from a visual standpoint, it's terrific to watch, but everything else just falls so flat to me with a couple of bright spots, but there's just not much to it beyond the visuals. So that's why I have such mixed feelings about this movie and how I really don't know how to approach rating this movie.
So come on, you gotta give it a rating.
Okay, I would say a C, just because again, the characters just are really poorly characterized for the most part, and the story is just nothing that's interesting for anyone who's like ever seen a good superhero show or movie or read a good superhero movie or TV show. But yeah, the fight scenes are really good. So I think, yeah, I just have a very weird mixed feeling about this movie. So I'm just saying I would not recommend buying this at all. I would recommend you renting it from Redbox or a streaming service. There's no reason to own this movie because there's nothing to really go back to watch, really, except the fight scenes.
Or, try watching the scenes if anyone puts them on YouTube.
There are a couple of them on YouTube, like the Green Lantern, Batman, and Superman fight is really cool, but again, I don't care about any of these characters, so emotionally it means nothing to me. So that's Justice League War, kind of a mixed movie, but yeah. DC has done way better for the animated movies.
I mean, it would have been better if they did like a Justice League Civil War, or was that?
That was Marvel.
Yeah, I mean, they could have done like something like that, only with Marvel superheroes.
You know what they could have done? They could have written the characters better. Like so many of this movie's problems, I would have such a better reaction to this movie if even if the story was not very good, if the characters actually interacted well with each other or well developed, I would have so many less problems with this movie if that
Yeah,
was
and
fixed.
why make like a 52 comic animated movie out of that new 52 comics? Like, why don't you make an animated movie out of Red Sun?
Why not? I mean, it's a way better story than this one, but I'm not on DC, so hopefully they figure out
Yeah,
something.
please make an animated Red Sun movie, pretty please.
Hopefully they can make a better movie than this. But okay, we've rambled on long enough about Justice League War, way more than I thought we were going to. But yeah, good seeing, good talking to you guys. As always, take care, guys. Catch you later.
Right. Bye.